FCC's Connect America Fund. We refer to it as CAF2. It's the second phase of the FCC's Connect America Fund. And they have determined areas, and they did it at a census block level, where customers, residents are unserved. They do not have broadband available to them at all. And in the state of Arkansas, all three of what we call the price cap providers, or the larger companies, that would be AT&T, Windstream, and CenturyLink, we've all accepted the funding in the state of Arkansas, along with the FCC commitments to deploy broadband to these unserved areas. There are specific thresholds that we have to meet. This is a 6-year program. The providers, AT&T is getting $21 million a year. The three companies together are getting over $50 million a year. So that's the amount that will be going directly to serve the places today that don't have any broadband. 40% of that has to be built and in service by the end of this year. So for Arkansas, that means that there will be, well, it's 130,000 homes for the entire program for those three companies. A little over 50,000 is AT&T's number, and 50,000 is also the number from all three companies that will be in service by the end of this year. So that's quite an investment that's coming into the state from the FCC. The requirements on that are a minimum of a 10:1 speed. Now, I know that the FCC has defined broadband now as 25/3, but kind of at the same time they were doing that, they've decided that for these unserved areas, they set a threshold of 10:1. A lot of the places will get faster speeds than 10:1, but that will be the minimum that they get. Just to kind of show the impact that CAF2 is going to have in the state of Arkansas, it's kind of a funnel diagram there, if you will. And there was a 2016 broadband progress report that the FCC put out. And it showed that the number you'll see at the top of the funnel is that like 745,000 people in Arkansas didn't have access to broadband. And so if we convert that down to households, it's like 298,000 households. And again, that was using their new definition of 25/3. If you look at it at the 10:1, which is what CAF2 is requiring, it takes it down to 169,000 households. And AT&T, Windstream, and CenturyLink, with their CAF2 funding, it was a 6-year program, so now we're down to like 5 years on it. We're going to hit 130,000 of those homes. So it's going to leave only 39,000 homes that would not have access to at least 10:1 at the end of the program. I'm going to talk a little bit about what AT&T is doing with most of our CAF2 deployment is going to be with fixed wireless technology. And with that, homes or small businesses will have an antenna outside. It does not have to be mounted on the home. It can be. It doesn't require a direct line of sight. It's about the size of a pizza box. And it'll get its signal from the cell tower. We have fiber to the cell towers, and then that will transmit to the receiver outside the home. Inside the home, it's going to be just like a wired network that you have today. If someone has internet service today, it'll go inside the home and you'll have a wireless gateway or router there, and you can have Wi-Fi in your home. Like I said, it's going to offer a minimum of a 10:1 speed. In a lot of cases, people will have greater speeds than that available, and especially with the next generations of technology on the fixed wireless, we're seeing a lot greater speeds than that in some of our trials. We just launched that last month in late April in Georgia. All of our trials that were done on it, plus our launch in Georgia, has been very successful. People are very satisfied with the service they're getting. And so you'll see that launching here in Arkansas just within the next couple of months. And keep in mind, this is to people who had no internet service available to them at all. The FCC, as I mentioned, did define where this can be provided. It's down to the census block level. Anyone can go to the FCC's website and you can see what census blocks qualify for this funding. It will not be, if your census block is on there, it doesn't guarantee it. You know, it's not 100%. The level that they funded it at will not take care of all of the areas, but it will take care of a great deal of it. They've also identified some areas that they consider to be extremely high cost, and there will be later phases of this Connect America Fund that will address those areas too. Additionally, besides what I mentioned, just the three companies, Windstream, CenturyLink, and AT&T, the small rural companies in the state, they're referred to as rate of return carriers by the FCC. And there's another funding mechanism that's part of this same plan. They call it ACAM. It's an alternative cost model that they've used. And not all of the rural companies in the state accepted the funding. Some of them have other sources of funding, and some of them may already have, you know, the networks, a lot of their networks that they've already run fiber different places to the homes. There are 5 companies that accepted that, and it's a 10-year program where they'll be bringing in over $12.5 million from the FCC to fund that, and they'll be reaching 20,000 locations. So if you take those 20,000 locations out of the 39,000 that were left after the 3 large companies, it takes it down to a much smaller, you know, down to 19 or 20,000 households that would not have at least 10-1. In this ACAM program, and I don't have those numbers in here, they're also getting some funding where they will provide 4-1 to some areas too. Aside from this federal funding, as I mentioned in the beginning, you know, we have our own amounts of investment that we invest and expand our network on a regular basis. So this is on top of that. We also have some state funding from the Arkansas High Cost Fund. AT&T receives $5 million a year, and we use that money exclusively to either upgrade or expand our broadband into areas that don't have service now. And then just a couple other things that I wanted to mention that might be useful information in your communities and for your residents, and there's a couple of handouts on those. Access from AT&T is a program that we launched a year ago in April, and it's a low-cost broadband program. Residents can qualify if there's someone in that household that is a SNAP recipient, and they get broadband at $10 a month. And there's no installation fee, there's no equipment fees. It's strictly a $10 a month program. That's if they can get 10 or 5 for the speed down is $10 a month. If that's not available, if it's a lesser speed, they get it for $5 a month. So there's a place where they can go online and apply. You know, if they go to a public place or someone else helps them, they can apply online. There's an 800 number they can call. We are partnering with, you know, a lot of nonprofit agencies and community groups to try to get the word out to the recipients or to the people who could be recipients of this program, so that it would benefit them. So we're trying to get the word out. Also with schools and just various community groups. Also, we have a digital literacy program that once, you know, people are connected to the internet, we have a website that's a great tool that helps people just to know how to use the internet. It helps with the safety of the internet. There's areas on there for seniors, for parents, for students, and it just helps them with their basic computer skills and knowing how to get online, and it has a lot of security tips. So those are things that we're trying to do, you know, just to help in the community, to help get broadband out to those who need it and may not be able to get it, and then also to help keep them safe online.